Hey, how's it going? Mr. Deadman of Hard Talk Radio and Rant and Chill. For the baby metal fans, let me ask you guys a question. How do you feel about baby metal not writing their own music or playing their own music? Right. That's a common complaint that I hear from people that are not fans of baby metal. Even some fans of baby metal might bring that up. Like, other bands, they play their own, or they write their own music and they play their own music. They write their own lyrics and they sing it. We know that baby metal does not do that. It is produced. They have a writer that pretty much, from what I've seen, like pretty much two writers looks like. And maybe there's more. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Okay. And they write the lyrics and they write the music. I'm not sure what sort of creative input that the members of the comedy band have. If they have any, I don't know. I mean, do y'all know? I'm curious about that. I wonder if it's like my way or the highway sort of thing, or if they have any sort of creative flexibility in that. I mean, they have solos. They do solos live. Was that pre-written, or is that something that they do? Is that the comedy band showing their flex and their creative talent? I don't exactly know, but I'm curious about that as well. But the main complaint that I hear with people that are anti-baby metal, whatever, is that they don't write their own music. Therefore, they're not really metal. Okay. Now, are there rock bands, metal bands that have a problem of not writing their own music, or at least have that same thing that could be applied to them? Yes. Ozzy Osbourne, for one. Dean Snyder he called Ozzy for not writing his own lyrics. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ozzy doesn't write his own lyrics, especially later on in his career. I wouldn't be surprised if he received outside help for that. Now, there's other rock bands too, like Aerosmith. They used outside help, to write their music, to write their songs. Songs like Heart's Done Time, Dude Looks Like a Lady, What It Takes, Crazy, Hole in My Soul. Those songs from Aerosmith, they didn't write those songs. They were written by somebody else. Okay. Songs like let's say like Bon Jovi. You might recognize Living on a Prayer. Everyone knows that song. Living on a Prayer. That is classic, right? You Give Love a Bad Name. Classic Bon Jovi song. Guess what? Both those songs, they didn't write those songs. Bon Jovi didn't write those songs. They received outside help. They used outside help, and those songs became classic hits. They're iconic, right? They're singles. What's my point of bringing this up? My point of bringing this up is just because a band doesn't write their own music or write their own lyrics doesn't necessarily make it bad. In fact, the thing here with baby metal is that their thing, and some baby metal fans might not like the way I phrase this. I'll be sort of cautious, but keep in mind, guys, I like baby metal, right? What you get with baby metal isn't a metal band, but a metal entertainment package, the way I look at it. And the reason I frame it that way is because the girls, while they don't write their own lyrics, they do sing and they do perform while they're singing. I mean, they're constantly moving around. They're constantly dancing, doing these little things and very uppity and all sorts of high energy all throughout. Is that work? Does that take skill? I mean, does it not? Is it something you can easily do? Some people could say, I can easily do that. You try doing that. It burns those girls out. It burns them out. I mean, one of them collapsed on stage. Pretty much did her in. It was too much work. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. That the dancing, the performing, and all that. It requires a lot of energy. It requires a high cardio. It requires, like I said, a lot of training. I think I said that already. A lot of training, a lot of practice. And then you have the comedy band themselves. They are part of baby metal. Maybe some say, well, in the beginning they weren't. Okay, maybe in the very beginning they weren't, but they are now. They are very much a part, and what are the ins and outs of them learning the grooves, learning different things and feeding back on each other. Like, I'm curious about that. I really want to explore more on that. I wish there was more information on that. That'd be good to see. I need to get my hands on some like behind the scenes like DVDs and stuff, and get that sort of content. Really immerse myself in that, because I wouldn't be surprised with any band, even if it is all written for them to play. There's always going to be that. I can't think of how it wouldn't be. There's always going to be that sort of feedback between the band members of, hey, no, that sounds good. Hey, there's always going to be that. You're always going to have that component, I think. I mean, I couldn't imagine how you wouldn't have what I'm talking about is improvising, coming with something on the fly that sounds good. It's like, oh, okay, try that. And then again, of course, maybe that doesn't happen. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen. But even if it doesn't make them not a band. It doesn't make them not metal or anything. Like I did describe it as an entertainment package, because you do have something more there. Right? You have the back band, which is very metal. And then you have the girls, which are very into metal. That while their voice is not typical for metal, which is what sets them apart. Some people call that a gimmick. It's their thing. It's what sets them out. What makes them stand out from everyone else. They have something that others do not have. The closest thing that can try to compare would be someone like Poppy, who's been going into more metal now. I know people don't really like that comparison, but it is there. I mean, Poppy, I don't know if she's influenced by Babymetal or what, but there seems to be people try to make a little comparison there, right? And they try to make a comparison. And the thing with Poppy is that she does write her stuff. Okay, but how much does she write? I mean, she's not writing the music, Is she writing the music? She's writing the chord progression. She's writing the guitar licks and the solos. No, she's not writing that. She's writing the lyrics. She's singing the lyrics. Okay. But like I said, it doesn't have to be a sort of pissing match as far as, okay, Poppy writes her lyrics, so she's better in that regard. I mean, if that's how you judge it, that's how you judge it. But to me, it's about the same. So yeah, you'd be like, yeah, Poppy has that element to her. She writes her own stuff. But okay, when she's performing live, is she dancing and going all crazy and constantly high energy like the girls in Babymetal? I don't see that. But like I said, though, I don't really care for the pissing match thing, the comparison like that, because it's like, well, all these bands, and in the bands I mentioned before, like Aerosmith and Bon Jovi, well, while they didn't write, like while Bon Jovi didn't write "You Give Love a Bad Name" or "Living on a Prayer," are those songs not good songs? I mean, are they not part of the band? Like, is it not? Does it make it any less of a good song, or does it make the band any less? The fact that they're using something they didn't write themselves, right? I don't think so. I mean, there are a couple examples. I can't. The performers, they escape me right now. That very iconic two black dudes with like dreadlocks. What was their name? That was a different sort of thing. That was a con job. It looked like, Yeah, that was very suspect. But let me just ask you guys this: what do you think about Babymetal not writing their lyrics, not writing their music? Do you feel that it's a detriment? I really don't think so. I mean, it's coming down from the top. The guy who put it all together, he has a vision for the music, a vision for it all. He's in control of that. He knows what the girls' strengths are. He knows what the strengths of the commie band is. So, I don't have a problem with that. So let me know in the comment section what you think about this. You guys, ladies, take it easy.